Like to Tuesday, can you talk about that second half and what you saw from Bridget and the team to come back?
It was one of those games that I think was really, really hard to describe, hard to watch, hard to get through. But it's a game that I think someone sent me a thing that with minute 50 to go, there's a 1% chance we're going to win the game, but we have Bridget. But I think it says a lot about our team. You got to win games like that from time to time. If you're going to have a good year, you got to find a way to win a game when maybe you shouldn't or couldn't or whatever. But Kristen hits a big three. We never press. We pressed 3 times and it worked. And I mean, we called it, and they're looking at the bench like, what are we doing? And sometimes you just got to find a way. And I think you only find a way in those kind of situations when you're connected as a group. And we have a great player that literally has the ability to take over a game, and she certainly took over the second half of that game.
Last week when you told us that you think Bridget Carlson should be Player of the Year, was that inspired by anything? I mean, Bailey Coach just said Kalani should deserve it. Did you just feel like Bridget played so well that you want to make it clear that you think that she's the pick?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about Coach Mulkey saying that, and I'm not surprised that she says it, but I don't know. I guess, yeah, obviously Bridget plays at Iowa State, and I think she's the best player in the league, but I think if you are a basketball fan, coach, media person, and you objectively look at it, it should be a landslide. I honestly believe that, and that's no disrespect to anyone else, but you look at what Bridget is doing for this team and when she's doing it and how she's doing it, and she's doing it against everyone. But again, everyone can look at it through a different lens, but the year she's having is tremendous, and she's took a team that was not very good last year to a team that's got a chance to be in the NCAA tournament, a team that's got a chance to was picked 6th preseason. We got a chance to be 2nd. I mean, all those things go into it, but everyone's going to look at it differently, and I completely understand why people think that I'm just saying it because she plays at Iowa State. But I had text messages after the game, and somebody tweeted at me a couple times like, "I'm a Baylor fan, but I agree." So I'm not the only one that says it, but that's for someone else, and people will vote, and it's like anything else. Everyone has the right to vote for whoever they want to, and whatever happens. It won't change. It won't do anything to take away or whatever from what Bridget's accomplished. The people who see it every day know. So whatever happens.
It's a little strange to use a chance to finish 2nd in the league as motivation, and especially, the regular season title is already wrapped up, but does that still motivate your players?
I mean, it should. I mean, obviously, Baylor's a tremendous team. They win the league, and it doesn't. It's not a negative. I mean, when you're picked 6th in the preseason and you have a chance to finish that high, and you're talking about getting in the NCAA tournament, you're talking about seeding in the NCAA tournament if you get in. It's not like you're settling for 2nd. That's where you are. I mean, the best you can do right now is 2nd place, and we all talk about doing the best we can at that moment, and Baylor's by far the best team in our league, I think that as of now we just have to do what we can and finish strong and finish the best way we can with hopes of whatever happens in March. So the seeding in the conference tournament really doesn't matter a ton because you don't know who you're going to play, and then it comes down to matchups, and you're playing someone for the 3rd time. So I don't really look at that like, hey, you're in the 2nd seed Thursday. I don't really worry about that. It's more about finishing as strong as you can, be as high as you can, and for me, how does that impact the chance to get in the NCAA tournament?
Does that add to West Virginia's loss last night? It opens the door up a little further for you.
Yeah, it does, obviously. I think now if we win one of the 2, I think I'm not a math major.
As long as Baylor beats.
I feel bad because one of my majors in college is economics, so I should know numbers better. So I think there's a great chance that the door is open a little bit more. There's a lot of people beating each other up. There's a lot of crossover games now. Us playing Texas, TCU in Texas, West Virginia still has Baylor. So there's a lot of things that could happen. But that game changed it a little bit for us and gave us a little more of a probability to finish there, but at the end of the day, we have to go out and win games. And you know, it's one thing when someone else loses; it's another wins or loses. It's another thing you can't just sit there and hope everything, you know, hope the other guy loses. You got to do your own job too, and you know, that starts for us on Saturday.
Texas is obviously a very important matchup. I assume you've been watching film on them. What have you learned from the last time you all played?
You know, the thing with Texas is, you know, I say this every year. I mean, their roster is tremendous. It's high school American after high school American. And, they really defend really well. They're very, very physical with us. The game here we had a hard time getting in their offense, but you know, we had a lot of good looks at the basket. We had a really bad second quarter, middle of the second quarter, that got us behind, and then the game came down to the last shot. But you know, the biggest thing with Texas to us has always been their length and their ability to offensive rebound. I mean, they got 26 offensive rebounds against Baylor, and that's a staggering number. So how do you keep them off the board, keep people in front of you, and then offensively creating some lanes to score against their length? And when the shot is there, you know, you got to hit it. And there's no secret that when we make shots at a decent clip, we're in the game. When we don't make it, we're not the kind of team that can. We don't get a lot of offensive rebounds. We don't turn the other team over. So we have to be efficient offensively to be good. And when we're not, like we weren't for 3.5 quarters the other night, we really, really struggle. But when we do, we can hang around with a lot of people, and hopefully that'll be the case on Saturday.
With the second seed in the Big 12 on the line and kind of a potential to boost your resume a little bit come March, is this the biggest game you've played this year to date?
I've always said the next game's the biggest one. That sounds really silly, but you know, that's why I think for 24 years I've said the next 40 minutes is the most important. And you know, it's kind of like when people always say, "Is this a must-win game?" The only must-win game is the game you have to win to continue your season. I know that's another thing that people don't really agree with, but yeah, I mean, when you look at, we're tied with Texas. You know, if you lose, obviously you lose the tiebreaker, seeding, and there's a lot of things that go into it, and that's one of the things too. Is, you know, it'd be a great accomplishment for this team to go through a year. And you know, we haven't won 6 road games in the Big 12, I think, in close to 20 years. Baylor would be the only team that swept us, where we could say we swept 5 teams. With a chance to do it again on Monday against Kansas. So yeah, there's a lot of little things that you add to it, and obviously a quality win against the top 25 team on the road adds a lot to your resume. So yeah, it's a huge opportunity for our team, and I think hopefully we're going to go down there and play really well, because we're going to have to.